All securities through Money Concepts Capital Corp., member FINRA, SIPC. Executive Wealth Advisors, LLC is an independent firm not affiliated with Money Concepts Capital Corp.
Welcome to Queen's Address Radio, presented by Executives Wealth Advisor and Shavanika Kelly of Kelly & Associates, Incorporated with American Family Insurance.
Queen's Address Radio, where legacy meets purpose and high vibrational conversations move culture forward. I'm your host, Eartho Jallo.
I'm your host, Jamila Ewing. Today, we sit down with Keisha Smith-Jones from Executives Wealth Advisor. We thank you for tuning into our premiere episode of Queen's Address Radio. This episode, we talk to Keisha about all things money. You're listening to Queen's Address Radio on Joy 106.3 FM, Columbus's inspiration station.
When you're the first in your family to build real wealth, you carry more than ambition. You carry hope, pride, and purpose. I'm Keisha Smith-Jones, and I'm honored to sponsor the Queen's Address Radio and to share how the Executives Wealth Advisor helps women like you create a foundation for lasting prosperity. We see the woman who's worked hard for every title, every paycheck, every ounce of respect. You've earned it, and now it's time to make it work for you. The Executives Wealth Advisor helps first-generation wealth builders grow, protect, and pass on their success with intention and clarity. Because your story matters. Your financial choices today can open doors for generations to come. Now, let's take that next step together. Text the word wealth, WEALTH, to 844-467-5055 to get your free financial toolkit and start shaping the legacy you deserve.
Getting Down to Earth is brought to you by the Ohio Black Expo. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Realize how valuable, irreplaceable, and cared for you are by you. Time, how much can you lose? Energy, how much can you transfer? Money, can you afford to share? Do not give more of yourself than you can afford to lose. Peace. Getting Down to Earth is brought to you by the Ohio Black Expo. The Ohio Black Expo is a nonprofit organization committed to enhancing the lives, success, and well-being of Black residents in Ohio and beyond. Join us Memorial Day weekend for the Ohio Black Expo Riverfront Culture Fest. For more information, visit ohioblackexpo.com. Queen's Address Radio is sponsored by Shavanika Kelly of Kelly & Associates, Inc. with American Family Insurance. More information about Kelly & Associates, Inc. and American Family Insurance at 414-282-3105.
You're listening to Queen's Address Radio on Joy 106.3 FM, Columbus's inspiration station.
We are here with Keisha Smith-Jones, President and CEO of Executives Wealth Advisor. Welcome.
Welcome, Keisha. And so I have to say just a couple of things before we get into this interview because we are so excited. Happy New Year, everybody, by the way.
Whammed excited.
And so you are a young lady that is an author, a business owner, a veteran. You're an accomplished wealth manager. I'm sorry, CEO. My bad. Also, you're a financial planner and you look beautiful today.
Absolutely.
Okay. How did you come to, how do you do all this stuff?
Right.
And also the president of a chamber.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. The president of Chamber of Commerce in Gahanna, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Where do you find a time?
A calendar.
Time management as well.
Everything is on a calendar. Wow. You know, I feel as though you have 24 hours in a day, and if you utilize it right, you can get things done. So as long as everything is processed and time management driven, it can be done.
How did this journey begin? Like, can you go back to the origin story? Like, how did this origin start? Because you know, we all know you for being very vocal about building generational wealth. But you also have a military background. You're also a mom. You're also a veteran. Like,
she's also a wife.
Yes.
Good.
Like, how did this begin?
So with that, I'll just say I never thought that my path was in wealth management. It really was life experiences. And when you look back on it, God was just leading me there.
That's right.
Just from experiences,
I mean, just thinking about childhood, the things that we did in childhood. But I really went to Ohio State for chemical engineering.
Oh.
And I graduated. I've always kind of did things that were outside of
The
what
box
was
of what a woman
outside
is
of the
acceptable.
box, even with my family. My parents went to college. They both had to, basically drop out of college because they gave birth to my sister. My dad came home in the summer and was working for General Motors and got his check and was like, he's never going back to school again because it paid well.
Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Smith.
Shout
That's
out
my guy.
to Keith Smith and Francis Smith, who have been married for 48 years.
All right.
And then my
Shout out
sister,
to them.
Kimberly Smith,
Shout out to Kimmy.
has been doing hair for more
Celebrity
than 30
stylist.
years.
Love
Celebrity
it.
stylist, owner of Kimmy Couture.
Ooh.
She, her path wasn't academics. She knew very early her vocation. Her gift from God was hair. And she's actually been doing my hair since second grade.
Wow.
Shout out to Kimmy.
So I was kind of like the one that was like, you're the one that's going to make it. You're the one that's going to go to school. So I had asked for my parents to put me in private school because I knew that was like a good way for me to get a scholarship to college, which I did. I had a full academic scholarship to Ohio State, majoring in chemical engineering. Did a couple of internships and found out that's not really what I wanted to do. And then I seen a commercial and went and enlisted in the military. I enlisted into the United States Navy.
Shout out to the Navy.
Shout out to the Navy. Hoorah.
Hey.
But it was actually in the military where I fell into being a financial advisor.
Wow.
And that's because the command that I was at, actually, let's just back that up. Speaking of hair, my sister's done my hair since I was in the second grade. And when you have somebody that does your hair and you go to a different city, it's how we are about our hair.
Yes.
And I was living in San Diego. I was stationed in San Diego, California, and could not find anybody to do my hair. I found somebody and that was it, right?
That's
so
it.
I knew you got to make a standing appointment. So every 2 weeks I would get my hair done at the salon. And there was a woman that came in there at the same time as me. And we always were under the dryer at the same time. And you know how stylists sometimes stack their book up. So her and I would get under the dryer and we'd be out of the dryer, but still sitting in the chair.
Yeah.
So we were, waiting for our turn to get finished. But anyway, we would have good conversation. And this woman, let me just kind of give you a description. Black woman, super sharp. Always came in, outfit, reminded me a lot of my mom and my sister, stylish. Always had a brand new Benz, had a designer purse, and we would talk. And her and her husband would all go to these fabulous vacations, Hawaii, and they would go overseas and they go to Paris, and they were going to Jamaica. And I was just like, in awe. And we were just talking, and she was asking about myself, and and I was telling her how I went to school. And at this time, I was married. I had my first son. Shout out to Marcus, who's also in the active duty Navy, and he was a baby. And and we were just talking, and she knew that I had a previous education in engineering, was a distinguished military graduate in the military, and had made rank and Sailor of the Year and is getting a lot of accolades. And she said, my husband and I are looking at expanding our business, and we think that you would be a good fit. And I want to introduce you to my husband so we can show you what we do.
Wow.
Never knew that she was a financial advisor.
Right.
She introduced, so she brings me to the house.
Yeah.
But it's just you talking to people, and that's
Just
what we
talking.
have to get back
Connection.
to.
Yes.
Connecting and really just talking to each other.
Building
That's right.
relationships.
Absolutely,
right? Building
Keisha.
relationships.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So she invited me to their house, and they had $1 million house. Now, mind you, it is California.
Yeah.
But at the
Right,
same time,
right,
it's
right.
$1 million house.
Right.
Right.
Black
And
folks.
I had never been to a Black person's house that was $1 million.
Absolutely.
And this is when the infinity pools were a thing. So they had the lights changing colors.
Very
Wow.
sosophisticated.
And they had, this is when, sectionals with the chase.
Yeah.
So
Luxury
it's
lounge.
beautifully decorated home. And they were funny. The husband was like, listen, I can teach you about money. He said, if you want to know the rules to the game, that's how you win, right? He was like, and knowing how money works is how you're going to win in life.
Okay.
So that's how I became a financial advisor. So initially, I am very honest and transparent about this. When I speak to groups, I got into being a financial advisor for the money.
Okay.
Period.
Right?
Okay.
I want $1 million house.
All right.
I want
Yeah.
an infinity pool.
Right.
And I wanted
You
a
want
new
what you want.
Benz.
But look at you.
Right.
And then after you got in and said, I'm gonna do this for myself because this is what I want. I want
You're
to have
empowering
stability for
others.
myself.
Exactly.
You came back and said, no, I'm gonna help my peoples.
Well, I was like, 22, I wasn't thinking that deep yet.
Well, not yet.
It's like I evolved to that.
You're
I
right.
wasn't thinking that deep yet.
Right.
So I was actually a part-time financial advisor while I was in the military. So fast forward to 2006, my enlistment was up and I was moving back to Ohio. At that time, my dad worked for General Motors, and he was faced with the challenge of they worked out on the plant where Hollywood Casino is at right now.
Oh, yeah.
That's where the plant used to be.
It sure is.
And they were faced with either relocating or taking early retirement. He had 30 years. August 2006, he decided to retire. 2 months later, General Motors, this is back when all the car companies were having financial issues. So they filed bankruptcy, right? So remember TARP and all that stuff, TARP money. So he decided to have early retirement because he had 30 years. He had quote, full retirement. But there were so many people that he worked with for 20 years who didn't. They got a severance check and kind of like a kick out the door. But let's talk about the financial situation of my parents. They still had a mortgage. They had car notes. They had 2 DTSs. Shout out to the Cadillac DTS back then. They were both white to me, but one was pearl white and diamond white, but they was both white.
Right.
And they had like the typical liabilities that average Americans have, credit cards and things of that nature. And when my dad had to retire, my dad did not have a healthy 401k. He had like $5,000 in TSP. He got a severance check and he had his pension. And my dad said, no one ever came out to the plant to talk to us about this retirement stuff.
Oh, wow.
And he's even shared stories how, where the casino is, and even to this day, there's car dealerships
Still around it.
still around there, right?
It is.
So they would actually get shares as bonuses of GM, and the black guys, right, that he worked with, they would go across the street because the dealerships would say, hey, give us your shares, we'll give you a car.
Wow.
But then the other, let's just say, like the, management or whatever, they kept their shares.
Yeah.
Of course they did.
A lot of them had their houses paid off by then. Just a lot of different things. And so my dad, here it is. I was just, hot shot financial advisor coming from California. And here it is, my parents were hurting. And they never had anybody, not even me, talk to them about retirement.
Yeah.
Because I think that's also a stigma in our community.
Yeah.
Is that we do not talk because
we're embarrassed.
There's an embeddedness of a secret.
Yeah.
You have to keep everything a secret.
And see, that's another thing is being able to healthily speak to our children. And I mean children, about how the household is ran, what money goes in, where the money comes from, and saving. And that's something that we don't do.
Exactly.
So I got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Let's get into it.
How can we, as Black people, Black women, it's because, a lot of us, they say we're the head of households, okay, more than 50%. How can we, an average Black woman with maybe 2 children, average job, nothing special, actually save and build for her children's future? At what age should she start setting aside a couple of dollars for those babies so that they don't have to struggle with college, getting the stuff they're going to need for college if they're going to go to trade school? How can we make sure that by the time they're 18 to 21, that we can actually give them a little cushion?
So I might get in trouble on how this conversation goes.
Okay.
Because I was that single mom, 2 boys.
Wow.
And I worked full time when I came back because I had, just a securities license. I did work for a Fortune 100 company here, in retirement plans. And, I'd struggled. My ex-husband was active duty. He's always lived on the West Coast. So I didn't have the luxury of like the every other shared parenting and all that good stuff. So it was just me. I did go back to school and get a degree in finance. So I've done that challenge as well of starting. I remember my first job that I got out the military, I made $30,000. And I thought that was like something because the first tier was 27. So to answer your question of how they save for their children, my thing is that you can't give a house that has no foundation.
Absolutely.
So the first thing I would say is you have to get your financial house together first before you can think about like saving for a child's education. So that's why I said I might get in trouble for saying that, or some people might.
No,
go,
you have to be honest. We have to figure this out.
These are tough conversations, and we have to talk about it.
So the honesty of that is the way that the economy is set up, the way the tax codes are set up, the way that businesses are set up. Your retirement is your responsibility. Gone are the days of the retirement that our grandparents had, right? Where you go, you get a good job, you have a pension, Social Security, and then you good.
You're right.
That's gone because less than 30% of businesses offer a pension. And of that 28% of businesses that offer a pension, about 60% of them are public sector. So on the private sector side, there's no pension. So you can save for retirement. And when you get into retirement, that's it. What you got, what you built up, that is it. And we have to, as advisors and wealth managers, have to help you not outlive your money. Absolutely. But when you come to the children, so get your foundation together first. But the kids, they can go to school, they can get scholarships, they can get grants, and they can get student loans. You can't get a student loan for retirement.
Absolutely.
So that's why I said your foundation starts with you and getting your house together. And then once you fill your buckets, then you can extend that for education. But there's other ways that you can build wealth for your family.
Absolutely. Stay right there. We're here with our guest, Keisha Smith-Jones, President and CEO of Executives Wealth Advisor.
To every professional woman ready for more than a title, the Executives Wealth Advisor is here for you. You've built your career with purpose. Now, let's build your wealth with intention. I'm Keisha Smith-Jones, and as a proud sponsor of the Queen's Address Radio, I invite you to take the next step toward financial freedom. Text the word wealth to 844-467-5055 for your free financial toolkit and start creating your legacy today.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Jamila, and we are back with Keisha Smith-Jones. And so I'm going to get right on into my question because this conversation is just getting too good. Okay. And so what do you say, Keisha, to someone who comes to you and say, listen, Keisha, I'm a mom. You know, I have all these things I've done. My children are grown. I'm not starting out. I am in the thick of it. My credit score is 400, child. Okay, I don't have anything saved, but I'd like to have some insight because my credit cards are to the max and rent prices are going up. Can I have a conversation with you about wealth, or am I ineligible?
I always meet people where they are. So part of my mission, you understand why I do what I do, because it hit home with my parents. So I look at everybody as family. I look at everybody as, if you work and you earn a living, everybody has the right to be able to have a plan to build the life that they need to build, to build the life that they want to build. I think that the internet is great because there's a lot of information out there. But at the same time, it's like a double-edged sword where that's also a weapon, to where there's a lot of information out there, but people don't know how to apply it. And so I meet everybody where they are, and you have to know where you are to know where you're going and make a plan to get there. It's just like if you were driving and, you know, you put something in to a navigation, you have to have a starting point. So no matter where your starting point is, the whole point is that you need to have a conversation. And that is the start, is understanding where you are. And then you can make a plan for where you're going.
So there is hope.
There's always hope.
There's always hope.
If you're ready to do the work and be committed and have your mind made up that that's what you want to do.
Absolutely.
And you know, so you just dropped the gem. You know me, I'm always looking for a gem. All right. You have to financially know where you are so that you can financially know where you're going.
That's right.
That was great because a lot of us don't.
Absolutely.
We just work and we spend. We don't save. We don't budget. We just go in and we don't. And before we know, we're like, dang, we get paid every week. And then at the end, by Sunday, there's no money left.
That's absolutely right. So I always liken it to a map in a car.
Okay.
Right? Y'all got a car.
That's right.
Right? You get in the car. You put gas in it.
Yep.
You get in the car. You start it up. You can even drive it, hit the gas pedal, it's going to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But unless you have some sense of direction, you're just in a car.
And you're just in the car.
So a car is assets. It could be that savings account, checking account. It can be investments. It could even be a 401k.
Because I was going to ask you, this going to have to be a 2, 3, 4, 5-part show. Because I was going to say, putting your money into some type of like 401k or IRA or what about investing?
Absolutely. So if you have a job that offers a retirement plan, especially if they have a match, at the very minimum, you should be contributing what they're matching, because that's leaving money on the table.
Absolutely.
That's leaving money on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Your foundation of your house is your emergency fund.
Okay.
And so there are some people who do come to me who, they're like you said before, I have nothing. And, I feel as though like my money is funny and my change is strange. Right. And I always say, you know what, let's just make just like SMART goals, right? Do something that's attainable first, because we all have dreams of these pipe dreams of what we have. Do something that's attainable first. So let's make it to $1,000. Let's make it to $1,000. Whether that's $25 a pay, whether that's $50 a pay. Put it into a bank that you do not have an ATM card to, and that may even be across town and a little trouble for you to even get there.
Yeah.
What about mutual funds?
So mutual funds is kind of a next step up.
Aha, okay. There's layers to this, huh? Okay.
Right. Because there's different types of mutual funds, and you want to do what's suitable for you. So again, you need to have an emergency fund.
Okay.
Build that up, because I tell people this too. Building money, building your wealth, it's not sexy.
Right.
It is.
I remember
it
you
takes
said
discipline.
That. I went to the sisters event at Maestro's. Shout out to Maestro's, the Women Money and Power event. And when she said, listen, saving up, building wealth is not sexy.
It's not.
At all.
Absolutely.
And in fact, some days you got to eat red beans and rice for a whole week.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
But at least you have something saved.
You got something.
Yeah.
Yes. It's actually just all about small habits.
Small habits. Stay right there. We'll be right back with Keisha Smith-Jones, President and CEO of Executive Wealth Advisor.
Yo, it's the Queen's Address Podcast. I am the Kid Capri, man. Y'all stay tuned. We rolling, you hear?
What's up? It's Talib Kweli. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and you are now rocking with the Queen's Address Podcast.
Like and subscribe to the Queen's Address Podcast on YouTube, Audible, and anywhere you get high vibrational content.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Jamila, and we are back with Keisha Smith-Jones of the Executives Wealth Advisor. She is the title sponsor of the Queen's Address Radio, and also she is going to be joining us on the Queen's Capital Insight.
All right, we got that insight?
Yes, we do. I was just say for the first quarter of 2026, because it is the start of the new year, one of the things I will suggest for you to do is make your plan. What is your vision? You don't know where you're going unless you have a vision. So just like in Habakkuk 2:2, it says, write it down, make it plain. So that's my insight for today, is write down what are your financial goals for this year, and then make a plan to make it happen.
We have instructions, people.
Marching
Write down those financial goals and plans for 2026 so we can
Queen's
all be financially stable.
Absolutely. And in this new year, I think we all need to be financially stable. Also, could you share your social media?
Actually, yes. I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn at K Smith Advisor. We also offer a free toolkit. If you text the word wealth to the number 844-467-5055, the Queen's Address Radio will send you a free financial toolkit. In that is also a vision planning workbook and guide to financial readiness.
Well, we are ready. Aren't we, Sister Earth?
We are absolutely ready. We will be financially stable in 2026. I thank you, Keisha Smith-Jones.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited for this radio show.
Thank you for coming and what you do for us.
Absolutely. To our listeners, I want to leave you with this. Proverbs 21:20. The wise store up
choice food and oil, meaning wealth and savings, while fools consume everything they get. So what's the lesson in that? Long-term planning over impulse spending, y'all. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. It's your girl Jamila.
And your good sister Earth.
And we'll catch you in the next one. Peace and love.
The crowning moment is brought to you by Fortune Over Fame. Chase the fortune, never the fame. Visit fortuneoverfame.com.
Queen's Address Radio is sponsored by Shavanica Kelly of Kelly & Associates, Inc. with American Family Insurance. More information about Kelly & Associates, Inc. and American Family Insurance at 414-282-3105.
Very special thanks to our guest, Keisha Smith-Jones, the Executive's Wealth Advisor. For full episodes, the Queen's Address podcast, merch, and events, visit queensaddress.com. Follow Earth at Earth Ojallo on IG and Jamila at author Jamila Ewing on IG. Thank you to our sponsors, Executive's Wealth Advisor, Shavanica Kelly of Kelly & Associates Incorporated with American Family Insurance, Ohio Black Expo, Fortune Over Fame Clothing, J. Rawls for the Beats, Epic Media on the production, and the William H. Thomas Art Gallery.
Stay lifted, stay rooted, and stay royal.
You've been listening to Queen's Address Radio, queensaddress.com.
What is the purpose of the Queen's Address podcast? The purpose of the Queen's Address is to be a clean glass of water next to a sullied one. Authenticity, building bridges. A safe space for high vibrational dopeness. Lifestyle, wellness, shining a light on the gifted of the culture. Even as a little girl, I loved learning about new things, experiencing new things. As a woman, I enjoy sharing what I've learned. That's what the Queen's Address is all about. Conversations with the cool, or having a colloquy with the titans, and talking with those that I'd like to learn from. Choose wisely, and hopefully your spirit will be filled.
First in your family to build wealth? You've earned it. Now, let's grow it. The Executive's Wealth Advisor helps women like you move from earning to owning, from making a living to making a legacy. I'm Keisha Smith-Jones, and I'm proud to sponsor the Queen's Address Radio and to help ambitious women create financial confidence that lasts. Text the word wealth to 844-467-5055 to request your free financial toolkit and start your journey today.
Ohio Black Expo has been pivotal in my business journey because they help me showcase my work with so many people in the community. They give me the platform to be able to share my knowledge with others, and I am forever grateful for that.
And I'm here at the Black Expo supporting Black excellence. I encourage anybody who has a business to come out, show your skills, show your talent, support the Black businesses. It's wonderful for me. I've been here 3 years now. I enjoy it. Excited.
Queens in the house.